Okay, so the light that I'm using currently outside is the new Litemons LA300R. This is a 330-watt light. It is RGB, and it has so many cool features that I'm going to run through really quickly with you guys so you can understand what we're dealing with here. Number one, the reason that I wanted this light so bad is because you can actually create a fake sun, and that's what I'm doing here in the back. As you can see, it's very sunlight. It can make you be fooled very easily due to how bright it actually is. And that's something that I needed with the things that I have coming up in my work. So that's number one for me. Another thing I really like about this light is that it has NFC, which is amazing because you can just tap your phone up against the light itself and it automatically pairs once you open the app. And it's just so easy to work with that. So I can change the light whenever I want to, just like that. Ah, how cool is that? Tons of options, and there we go. Look at that. It's crazy. Absolutely insane. From the phone, there's so many different options you can choose through this as well, which I love. Third, I really like its color. It's white. They have a black and white one. I like the white one because there's not a lot of white lights out there, and it just helps you find your stuff amongst the people that you're working with. And if everybody had white lights, it'd be cool to have the black light. So I like the white light. It makes you stand apart, and it's just easily recognizable as well. They have three iterations of this: the 150, the 200, and the 300. The 300 is actually 330 watts, and it is very bright. As you can see, 360 RGB has all the effects that you could ever imagine, and they're usually the typical effects that you think. But the catch is that you can change every color for every effect that you have, which makes it exponential for the amount of things that you can actually do with this thing. So if you have lightning on, you can actually change that color to red if you want to, such as this. One of the biggest selling points of this light is that it actually goes from 1800 Kelvin all the way up to 10,000. And that is not typical. That is very beyond typical. And I think that a lot of people are going to be drawn to that, especially having the CCT where you can also change magenta to green very easily as well. Some lights don't do that. This one is one of those that do. I use CCT more than anything, but something that I think a lot of people are going to lean into with this is the actual gels that they have built into this. So you can easily go to the app or onto the actual device and choose which gel color that you want. And there are tons of them. So it's kind of like a preset for you to figure out what you want to use very, very quickly. And people use gels all the time for any type of light. So this just kind of mitigates you having to do that for a light like this. So it's very beneficial with this, and you can add as many lights to this app as you can imagine. I only have one of these lights, unfortunately, and I intend on getting more in the future. Right now, I'm currently using the 60-watt light. I'm going to show you the difference between this light and the 300 to see if it's something that you would have to upgrade to if you want to get something like we have here. So I'm going to show you really quickly what the 60-watt light looks like based off of a Rembrandt situation like we have right now. And the only thing that I'm going to change is the light. The softbox and the grid are both the exact same, but they're both going to be at 100% brightness. So here we go with the 60 watt now, and it's exposed to the 60 watt. So I'm going to switch over to the 300 watt or 330 watt so you can see how much brighter that one is than the 60 watt. And as you can see, it's very bright and very overexposed. I also want to do another unscientific test where I actually have them both pointed towards the same surface, and I'm gonna have them both turned on at the same time, and then I'll turn one off and one on. And I think it's pretty obvious which one's which because of how much brighter the 330 watt light is by Godox versus the actual 60 watt that I'm using by Newer. Now, don't get me wrong, the 60-watt light is great for what it is, but as I expand into other video avenues and photography avenues, I need something that is actually more versatile. And they're the same size, but the output is substantially different. So having a 300-watt light for me is huge. And that has actually changed my workflow quite a bit because I can use this against studio lights. So if I want to, I can use gobos with this thing, and it's bright enough to actually use the gobo rather than being so low that it turns into like a soft blob essentially. So I can get a perfect circle with this one versus the 60 watt where I cannot. It just kind of falls apart and bleeds out a little bit. So having a bright light like this whenever you're in a studio to go against studio lights is really nice. And if you're somebody that doesn't know how to use flash photography, this is also a really good way into that. This one is actually bright enough to use in a parabolic umbrella and take portraits. Although it might be really bright for your client or your subject, it's something that you could do, and you know exactly what the photo will look like before you take it. And that's something that a lot of people are moving towards. And I think this light is going to be a good one for you if that's something that you need. If you're shooting film photography, definitely recommend this so you don't have to guess with flash. I'm not a great film photographer. So, I mean, maybe you're really good at it, but if you're using flash and you don't really know what you're doing with film, having something like this, you can actually meter a lot easier. So definitely recommend this if you're into film photography, studio stuff, or wanting to get that way. Overall, this light has honestly been great. I've shot the last 5 videos that I've had with this light. It's so bright, and I mean, you can bounce it off the ceiling and don't even need soft boxes. It's just powerful, and that's something that I absolutely have loved using. Honestly, it's one of the most used things that I have, along with a light stand that I use, that I'm using right now all the time, and a microphone that I use for everything, and my camera. These things for all of my videos are always together, and I've just really loved using this light in the studio. Honestly, you can use this light with V-mount batteries, which I think a lot of people that have V-mount batteries would really like that about this light. It is very, like I said, very easy to use. It also comes with, of course, like some lights that are lower powered. This comes with the power brick that you need, and it also comes with the connector that you plug in, just like that. It's really bright. We're actually shooting a grill commercial essentially today, and I wanted to kind of brighten up the area that we're shooting in. It's very shaded, but we do have bits of light coming through from the sun, and I just really wanted to be able to lighten that space up a little bit. And surprisingly, 300 watts actually helped a lot. As you can see, I'm going to point you over here, and we'll go ahead and set this light up just like this. Okay. So this is what it looks like with the actual light on. As you can see, we're getting a lot of fill on all this side. Obviously, it's not as bright as the sun. It's not as close to the subject as, you know, it should be in order to overpower that. But this is the area, and I'm going to show you what it looks like with it off. Don't move. And this is what it looks like with it off. Definitely not a lot of fill coming in anymore. This place looks completely different than it did before due to that really bright light that we have. Anyways, that was my setup today. Cool. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure you subscribe to the channel because it really does help me feel better about myself at the end of the day. And until next time, peace.